So let's chat about SEO. When you open your blog post, you'll see this window in front of you, this screen. So the first thing you'll probably be adding is your title, which is in this top block over here. And then you'll scroll down and want to add your blog post. And then you'll you'll type your blog post in Google Docs, and then you'll copy and paste it into this text box over here, like I would have shown you already. So then you'll want to get into the SEO part of things. When I build a website, I always install Yoast SEO plugin. The SEO plugin does nothing for your SEO on its own. The SEO plugin is to allow you to have a space to give Google metadata about your blog post. So you have to put the metadata in manually. And that's why I say having the SEO plugin does nothing for your SEO on its own. So you'll click here where it says focus key phrase. This used to say focus keyword. They've updated it recently. And you will put in here your keyword that your whole blog post can be found through. For this one, obviously, I'm using my website. So I wrote a blog post recently called How to Collect Testimonials with Your Website. So mine would be collect testimonials. Your focus keyword, you'd ideally like it to be something that people are typing into Google to ask a question, and their question will contain ideally this focus key phrase or this focus keyword. In my case, people might be asking Google, how do I collect testimonials with my website? Or how do I collect testimonials on my website? Then my blog post would be a potential result, because I've got collect testimonials both in my focus key phrase here and distributed through my blog subtitles and through the blog content, which is quite important, because the whole point of this is to be able to find this key phrase in your blog post as well. Because if your blog post is not about, for example, in my case, collecting testimonials, and it shows up as a result for people searching for this key phrase, and Google shows them this result, this blog post, and then they click on it and it's absolutely nothing to do with collecting testimonials, they'll click away quite quickly. And this is a signal to Google that this result is not valuable. And enough people doing this will result in Google bumping down this result in the search result pages. And basically your website is being buried under other results that are more valuable. So we want to scroll down. Once you have, what I suggest is type your blog post out first, paste it into your text box in Divi here in your website, and then only then go and do your SEO, because then you'll be able to edit your blog post to improve the results that you're getting here. So I'm just going to scroll down and you'll see that I put in here collect testimonials. So then it'll give me an analysis of my text. And which is why I say put your text in first so that it has something at least to analyze. So the orange result I'm getting here is you could improve this. The key phrase in title means the key phrase collect testimonials is not close to the beginning of my blog title. Now the SEO title that it's looking at is here. So you'll see collect testimonials is not exactly in the beginning of my title, and they want it to be as close to the beginning as possible, but I'm not going to sacrifice grammar or my blog title for the sake of an SEO point. And that's something I suggest clients do. Otherwise, it just looks unnatural and it looks like you're writing for a search engine where we want to be writing for people. So if I continue to scroll down, I will take you through all these results. Outbound links just mean, do I have any links that go outbound, i.e. to other pages on the internet or to other blog posts on my website? Internal links or outbound links are to other places on the internet, social media, any other places on the internet. Internal links means, do I have links that link internally, as in to the rest of my website? Key phrase in my introduction means, do I have the key phrase, as in collect testimonials in the introduction? Key phrase length, i.e., is it a good length? Is it not too long? Is it not too short? Key phrase density, meaning how many times my key phrase was found in the text of my content. Key phrase and meta description means, do I have my key phrase in, or a synonym appears in the meta description? And the meta description is this part over here. That's the meta description. This, you'll see, is what Google shows. This is basically what the search engine results page will show. I'm going to go into editing that in just a little bit. For now, I'm focusing on these results. Now, meta description length, meaning is my meta description length long enough, as in not too short and not too long where it cuts off the meta description. As you type in that box, it will show a green bar or an orange bar and then a green bar, and then if it's too long, it'll go to a red bar, and I'll show you that now. Previously used key phrase, as in, have you used this key phrase anywhere on your website before? This gets challenging the more blog posts you write, as in, you only want one key phrase per page and per blog post, because if you rank, or if you categorize 2 blog posts or 2 pages with the same key phrase, Google doesn't know really which one to show or which one's a more valuable result. So you'll end up fighting with yourself for rankings, and that's not really the best idea. So key phrase and subheadings means, have you put your key phrase in subheadings in your blog post? And with mine, I've got obviously 4 subheadings, and it'll show you 2 out of 4 subheadings reflect the topic of your copy, and that's good. I could have 4, but then I will just be stuffing the keyword in unnaturally, and I didn't want to do that. As I said previously, we're writing for humans, not for search engines. So image alt attributes. So if you add images to your blog post, or as here in the featured image, you want to alt tag it. And alt tagging just means when you upload the picture, on the right-hand side, as I'll show you now, over here, I just click my picture. Remember, I covered this in adding pictures to your library. So what you want to do is, here's the alt text. This is a fillable field, so you type in, ideally, your key phrase here. And you'll see mine also says collect testimonials. Then you want text length, as in the length of your blog post. You need to have minimum 300 words here. The longer the blog post, the more Google sees it as the more valuable the post is. But I'm not going to write a longer blog post for the sake of having a longer blog post. I tend to write, between 600 and 900 word blog posts. People, ideally, the search engine algorithm tends to favor longer blog posts, but I find that I don't really read long blog posts. If I'm wanting to go to a blog post for information, I want to get the information I need and then move on. I don't tend to write 1,500 word blog posts, but that's what the algorithm is favoring at the moment. SEO title width, meaning, is the SEO title, as in this part over here, this blue part, is that long enough and not too long so that it cuts off in the search results? And then key phrase in the slug, meaning this is the slug over here. This is the SEO title over here, this is the slug over here, and this is the meta description. Now that I've covered all of that, I'm going to close this for a second, and then I'm going to cover this part. You don't edit your search engine result box. In here, you click it, and these 3 text fields pop up. What you want to do is add your SEO title is going to be this blue part over here. You'll see when I mouse over, it shows you with a little blue arrow down here what it is changing. So you'll do when you click in this box anyway, and then you'll say, you'll type in your blog title over here, making sure that it contains your key phrase. And then what I like to do is add a separator, which is either a hyphen or a dash or a separator like one of those. And then what I like to do, I'll show you that again. You'll see it's just a vertical line. And then what I like to do is add the title of my website. In my case, it's Fox and Owl Media over there. So that it shows Google, or it shows people, it develops brand awareness. And you always, the guideline from Yoast is that you have your website title in your SEO title. Then you'll see, as I type, you'll see it goes red. And we don't want that. It means it's too long and it's not going to display the entire title in the search engine results page. So you might have to play with this. You'll say, as I delete letters, it goes green again. Green is obviously good. Red, you might want to review that part. You'll see that as you type, it goes red, and you might have to play with the length of your blog titles to fit in that green space. This is the slug, meaning the part that's going to the last part of your website address or your page address here. This part, collect testimonials website. I try and not include things like of and the and You'll see that even though my website, my blog title is how to collect testimonials with your, those are, there's a specific Google, or there's a specific SEO term for it. They're essentially dead words. They're common words, and they're so common that Google sort of filters them out in a search engine query. So I don't want to put them in my slug. There's occasions when I do, but there's most of the time I don't. So we want to keyword this essentially and make it more robotic. So I've put collect testimonials website. You'll find that you have to put a little hyphen there so that it is one word, or it shows as one, or the hyphen essentially separates your words, because if you didn't, it would look like that. And then it's actually harder to read. The hyphens make your slug easier to read. It also is a signal to Google that the result is a bit higher quality, and it signals to readers as well that, okay, this blog is about what they say it is, or this post or this page is about what they say it is. Then you want to edit your meta description. With blog posts, I tend to just write, I'm going to discuss this in this blog post. So, and I try and include my key phrase there. So when you keep typing, right? So I've just added junk there now. So as you'll see, it went from green to orange, and then we don't want that. So if I keep typing, it just doesn't. You'll see up here in the top, it just cuts the meta description off. You'll see here, it just says ... We ideally don't want that. So we want to show the entire meta description in this box. So you'll see it goes from orange to green now. And it's just, as I delete here, it's deleting up here. So then we keep it within that green space. And then let's cover the readability analysis. This is different for every single blog post that you write. So what I'm showing you here is not necessarily the results you're going to get, because my writing style differs to yours. My blog post content is going to differ to yours. This changes a lot depending on the blog content and obviously the writing. So this guides you according to the difficulty of the level of your blog post. So this one says to me, I have a readability analysis. I'm not terribly worried about it. I should be, and I probably could be improving that. But I've tended to focus on writing content that to me is relatively easy to read. I could simplify my writing style a little bit. I know that, but that's not really a priority for me at the moment. So you'll see that it's warning me about, I've overused the passive voice. My sentences are too long, and very few of the sentences contain transition words. This stuff is language stuff, and it's things that you can look up to find out, okay, how do I decrease using passive voice in my writing? How can I decrease sentence length? How could I include more transition words in my writing? It gives you a reading ease score test score, and then it'll tell you, oh, it's considered okay to read. Great. Then have I distributed the subheadings evenly enough so it's not a subheading and then, 20 paragraphs under that subheading, and then the paragraph lengths, none of them are too long. I try and keep the paragraph lengths relatively short and make more paragraphs rather than making a terribly long paragraph, because it tends to downrank your reading score for that. And so readability analysis is not something that I tend to get terribly much into, because every blog post is different and it guides you here according to what you could be improving. So that covers the basics of the SEO for blog posts. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.